It's draft week in the NFL, and for Bills fans, that means one thing. Who are the Buffalo Bills going to pick up in the 2020 NFL Draft? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Billievers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this 2020 Buffalo Bills mock draft edition of Billievers Talk, where I take a look at all 7 of the Buffalo Bills draft picks and tell you who I think the Buffalo Bills may select if there were no trades included. Again, thank you guys for joining me on Billievers Talk. My name is Joe. If you're new to this channel, guys, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. After you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. YouTube notifies you when we put out new content with the draft coming up. We're keeping you up to date, including Wednesday. Wednesday evening, we're going to have a live stream, guys. If you can join me, that'd be awesome. We are going to try to do a mock draft live. This will be the first time I'm trying to do it. Would love for you guys to join me, and we can vote and see who we have the Buffalo Bills picking up with those 7 draft picks. But in this edition of Billievers Talk, we're going to talk about the 7 picks. Again, we're going to do the mock draft without trades in this episode. Tomorrow, Wednesday at 3 o'clock, I'll be posting my draft with the Buffalo Bills possibly trading, giving you a trade or two that the Buffalo Bills might complete during the 2020 NFL Draft. So let's get right into it. Talk about the 7 Buffalo Bills draft picks. First, I want to tell you the 7 Buffalo Bills draft picks the Bills do have. Obviously, they do not have a first-round draft pick after trading with the Minnesota Vikings for Stephon Diggs. So we do not have a first-round draft pick, so there won't be any Bills picks on Thursday. However, day 2, we do have 2 draft picks there. The second round, we have the 54th overall pick, and then the third round, we have the 86th overall pick. And then Saturday, you fill out the other 5 picks with 2 6th-round picks. You have pick number 128 in the 4th round, 167 in the 5th round, 188 and 207 in the 6th round, and 239 in the 7th round. With those last 3 picks really intriguing Bills fans as far as could they use those to trade up. But again, in this episode of the Bills mock draft, we are not using trades in this scenario. Join me tomorrow when I post my video and introduce some trades into the mix and see what you guys think there. Again, guys, as I go through these picks, leave a comment in the comment section. Do you think this is a possibility for the Buffalo Bills? Or would you rather see some other players potentially taking off the board at that spot? I did use www.profootballnetwork.com for my draft research. I'll try to post some videos to show you when I get to those picks who was available on the board in the mock draft. Obviously, not all the players that we would want to be available were available at these spots, but I have a little bit of a breakdown so you guys can see what I was looking at and why I chose what I chose. So with the 54th overall pick, I saw that the Buffalo Bills had a couple of good options out there. I feel like the Buffalo Bills need a wide receiver in this draft. However, I also feel like we basically used our first round pick on a wide receiver getting Stephon Diggs. So would we go back-to-back rounds getting a wide receiver? I just don't see that happening. And I also am not sure that we would pick up a running back this early. I think the depth of the running backs in this 2020 NFL draft is a little sneaky just because of how deep the wide receivers are. I believe there's a lot of depth in both those positions. So I think that the Buffalo Bills may go for another position of need, which would be either an edge rusher, maybe a cornerback on the defensive side of the ball. I picked edge rusher as you look at who was available at that time. So with the 86th overall pick in the NFL draft, now we're looking at the 3rd round, and as I show you who was available in the 3rd round, you'll see the board fell pretty favorably for the Buffalo Bills. A position of need, a position that Bills fans are all looking at in the NFL draft is that wide receiver position. And if you look at some of the names of wide receivers available, you see Edwards is still available. I've heard his name a lot in Bill's circles, especially on this channel here. And you see that big Notre Dame wide receiver who impressed everybody at the NFL Combine, Chase Claypool, is also available on the board at 86. Now, I've been telling a lot of fans of the Buffalo Bills that the Buffalo Bills should not pick up Chase Claypool in the second round. I feel like that's way too high. Remember, coming out of college, he was a fourth-round projected draft pick. Now, he had a great NFL Combine, but I feel like that shouldn't make you jump up 2 rounds. If Chase Claypool was available with the 86th overall pick, I think that's great value for Chase Claypool, and I think that the Buffalo Bills should pull the trigger at that point, and that's what I have them doing with the 86th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. I have the Buffalo Bills selecting Chase Claypool, wide receiver out of Notre Dame. Chase Claypool, 6'4", 238 pounds, has 9 7/8 inch hands. That's one thing that kind of gave him the edge to me over Edwards. Edwards' hands a little bit smaller than Chase Claypool, size 1 inch shorter than Chase Claypool. So I like getting a little bit of a taller receiver here, a little bit more of a deep threat. Averaged, I think, about 17 yards per reception in 2019. In 2019, he had 66 receptions for 1,037 yards and 13 touchdowns. Impressive numbers, especially for a Notre Dame team known for running the ball more than passing the ball, especially when you get into the later months, the colder months of an NFL season. You look back at that Georgia game early in the season, a low-scoring affair. So for him to get 13 touchdowns, pretty impressive at the University of Notre Dame. So that is who I have the Buffalo Bills picking 86th overall. Again, board falls in our favor, and we get Chase Claypool at that 86th spot. Then you go down to pick 188. We're starting with the 6th and 7th rounds. And guys, when you look at the 6th and 7th rounds, you might be looking at guys you could put on the practice squad, potentially guys that could fill in for spots if needed in case of injury, or guys that could use a little bit of work and could actually become a backup or a decent player in the NFL. Spend a year or two on the practice squad and then maybe come up. So you look at some contracts that may not be there in 2 or 3 years, right? You're not looking at a player who can be impactful in 2020. You look for a player maybe 2022, 2023. And I look at that offensive line for the Buffalo Bills, and when we're talking about 2022, there are some holes that begin to show, especially at that guard position. And that's why I look at the players available still in the NFL, in the 2020 NFL draft. And I look at Danny Pinter, guard out of Ball State. Danny Pinter, you're taking a chance here due to the fact that he originally was a tight end. 2 years ago, he was converted from a tight end to a tackle, and now it appears with his size, you're going to have to convert him from a tackle to a guard in the NFL. So that means there's some raw talent there. There's some coachable talent there that may produce into an athletic, a really good offensive guard in the NFL. There's potential, and that's all you want out of a 6th round pick, is that potential to be there, and that you can hopefully groom that into something else during those 2-3 years where he's sitting on the practice squad. Might be able to surprise you a little bit and turn in some good numbers, some good valuable minutes as maybe a backup or a practice squad player. Then you go further in the 6th round to the 207th overall pick, and I picked up Chappelle Russell, outside linebacker out of Temple. As I was talking about with the 188th pick, when you talk about the 6th, 7th round, you want to pick up guys that might fill holes in 2 to 3 years. And when you look at that outside linebacker position with the potential of Matt Milano not getting that contract extension, you're taking a look at Klein, who signed a 2-year deal with the Buffalo Bills. You still have Voshon Joseph, but he was a late round draft pick, so who knows if he'll be there in 2 years. Outside linebacker may be the way to go here at 207, and I pick up Chappelle Russell, outside linebacker out of Temple. And then with the last pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, pick 239, the Buffalo Bills select as safety out of University of North Carolina, Miles Dorn. Again, you want to look at the safety tandem that we have back there right now. Hyde and Poyer, one of the best, if not the best, in the league. However, how long can they be playing at that elite level? They're not young anymore. They're getting to older veteran status. And Miles Dorn, again, a player that's a little bit raw, has that raw talent, who better to learn behind than a possible Hyde-Poyer combination, and watch how they do it. Again, sit on the practice squad for a year or two and see if you could pick up some of the things that they're teaching you, use that raw ability to then expand your game and become a better safety for it. And then maybe in 2 to 3 years, you could be a valuable addition to a 53-man roster for the Buffalo Bills. So those are my 7 draft picks for the Buffalo Bills. Going through them real quick again, at 54, I was picking up defensive end Curtis Weaver. 86, Chase Claypool, wide receiver on Notre Dame. 128, Amick Robertson, cornerback. 167, Antonio Gibson, running back. Danny Pinter, guard. 188, Chappelle Russell at 207, outside linebacker, and then Miles Dorn at 239, safety from UNC. So thank you guys for joining me for this mock edition of the Buffalo Bills 2020 NFL Draft. I went over all 7 rounds. Now join me tomorrow when I do a mock Buffalo Bills draft, but I include some trades in there and make things look a little bit more interesting for the Buffalo Bills. Again, guys, thank you for joining me on this edition of Believers Talk. Whatever I said, whatever you think about, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about that 54th overall pick. Would you have taken Duggar over Weaver? What other picks do you disagree with? Would you have taken Edwards over Claypool? I mean, those are all some questions that Brandon Beane and the Buffalo Bills may have to answer come draft day, and I'll be interested to see what they do. Again, guys, thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.